Good morning from Cooking with Gerry. It's breakfast time and I am just finishing up with this first part. This is 3 tablespoons of oat flakes, 3 tablespoons of quinoa powder, and 3 tablespoons of whole wheat flour. I put in about 1 cup of boiling water, and I put it in a heat-safe container, and I let the water absorb into those ingredients for about 1 hour. Then I added half a teaspoon of coarse grain pink salt, 2 eggs, about a tablespoon of virgin olive oil, and it was still a bit too liquidy. My intention was to make a pancake. So then I added 1 tablespoon of flax seeds by mistake. I thought they were chia seeds because chia absorbs a lot of water. And I didn't get to wash the flax seed. Normally I do, to remove any kind of dust that's on the seeds. But then I also added about 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. And then in this small frying pan, about another tablespoon of virgin olive oil. And it's turned into a bit of a porridge. And it's been cooking for about 10 minutes. A little bit longer than I normally would because of the flax seed. I want it to be easier for my body to digest. And it'll have more time to absorb the water and to soften, talking about the flax seeds. As I prepare what was the main intention for this video, which we'll get started right now. So I'm just going to move this to here, and here I have mango. 6 pieces of mango, fairly small, that I peeled and removed the pit. And this is a mango that's very fibrous. So 1 tablespoon of salted butter. So with the knife I also tried to cut up the mango a little bit to make it easier for my mouth to chew and my body to absorb. I found these mangoes 2 days ago. I was going for a walk in the village, and these mangoes were on the dirt ground on the road. I'm going to cover the porridge, keep it warm. So I picked over 20. I was able to give 6 of them away to friends. But 2 days ago I made a similar type puree or jam. I don't think I can call it a jam because I'm not adding sugar. I made this mango puree with 10 mangoes, and I put in some dried fruit, cranberries, raisins, and dates, and some pecans, walnuts, pistachios, and about a tablespoon of cocoa powder, and it was really tasty. So we're doing something similar right now, but I'm not going to add the dried fruit because it was sweet enough without the fruit. Because I found these mangoes on the ground, it meant that they were ripe. They were ready to be eaten, compared to many times, especially if you're in a country that doesn't have so much of the fruit, and you see in the fresh fruit section of your grocery store that fruit has traveled from somewhere else. So these mangoes are sweet, so I'm not going to add the dried fruit. I do here have similar as before, 5 walnut halves, 2 whole pecans that I broke apart, removed the center core and broke into smaller pieces, and about 15 pistachios. I removed the shell and I washed them, and I let them soak in water for about half an hour. Those are going to go in at the end. I'm not really wanting to cook the mango, just to heat it, because that will also break apart some of the fibers. and make it easier for absorption into the body. And the butter will add a bit of fat content, and it also makes it so that it doesn't stick to the frying pan. So now I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of coarse pink salt. Just roughly judging, that's 2 pinches. I think that's enough. And I have here cocoa powder. I like to put it through a strainer just to make sure that no shell bits. I want about a tablespoon of this cocoa powder. Cocoa can be really healthy if you go at least 80% dark chocolate. Anything less, 50%, or the milk chocolate, there's too much sugar. So that's about a tablespoon of pure cocoa powder. And this area does grow cocoa plants, so it's local, which makes it more fresh, doesn't have to travel so far. On this property, on the main floor, there are about 30 cocoa plants. And whatever didn't pass through, I just put in the garbage. So I'm going to mix the cocoa around so that it absorbs. And I'm also going to add now the pecans, walnuts, and pistachios that's soaked in water for about half an hour. And that's it for the heat. As I said, I don't really want to cook the mango. And I'll tell you also, with the pit of the mango, I have them in my saucepan. I put about 2 cups of water and a small piece of fresh ginger that I've cut up with a knife first of all, and then with scissors to make the pieces really small. And then I let the water boil for a few minutes, and that'll be a really nice drink. Sweetness from the mango, the fiber that's stuck to the mango pit, I can chew it off, and the health benefits of ginger. I won't have it with my meal because I believe from the science that says it's better not to mix liquid and solid. First of all, not to confuse the stomach, but second of all, not to dilute the digestive enzymes that are in your stomach by having too much liquid while you have the solid. So liquid or solid, better not to have both. That'll be later in the day once my food has digested. And I want to show you what I have, so I'll open everything up and bring the camera, trying not to make a mess. I can smell the ginger from the saucepan. So let me show you. Here is the tea, mango type tea with ginger. Here is the pancake that turned into a porridge. And here is the mango puree with those ingredients that we discussed. So there's breakfast for me. And for yourself, I was thinking, depending on where you are, if you can't find fresh mangoes, many times it'll be in the frozen fruit section. And a lot easier because it comes already peeled and cut up into cubes, or however they do it in your bag, in the bag of the frozen fruit. But also any kind of fruit you like, strawberry, blueberry, pineapple. Just remember that fruit has a lot of sugar. It's a natural sugar. But I learned recently when you freeze fruit, the water crystals chop up the fiber. so it's not quite as fibrous as it would be if it was fresh. And what that does, without the proper fiber intact, it breaks into sugar a lot quicker once it enters your stomach compared to the fresh fruit. But try something similar with your favorite fruit or a combination. You can have this instead of jam, because a normal jam has a lot of sugar, even the homemade stuff. Or you could have it as on topping on a dessert. Maybe you like cottage cheese. You could put that with some of the nuts, or you could put it on top of a cake or a pie instead of the usual frosting that has a lot of sugar. Lots of possibilities. I'm glad I thought this one up because it was really enjoyable 2 days ago. And as I was walking from where I found the mangoes to a friend's house to try and share some of the mangoes with her, I passed a row of 3 or 4 giant mango trees, and they were loaded with green mangoes. And these were the bigger mangoes. So I'm guessing in about 2 weeks those mangoes will be ready, and I'll go back to check if they've dropped. They're way too high for me to reach, but maybe 2 or 3 weeks they'll start dropping, and I can go and get some free fresh mango that's grown less than a 10-minute walk from my kitchen. And I mentioned the avocados. There's 2 or 3 avocado trees right here, less than 20 meters from my kitchen. I'm saying 2 or 3 because one of them doesn't have the fruit yet, so I'm not sure. So anyways, time for breakfast, and thanks for watching.